Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following program's views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or StylesRebelRadio.com.
Welcome to WSRR Radio, your 10 o'clock block on your drive to survive right here on the Star, WSRR Radio, and you are listening to Behind Enemy Lines. I'm Luke Storazio, joined as always by Dom Farrow. This is your Cleveland Sports Talk Show from Pittsburgh, and we got something special for you today, folks. It is May 28th. This episode will drop on June 1st, I believe, 2nd. I never know the dates. And yeah, summer's in full swing, and I think it's the summer of George, Tom.
It might be. It always is.
It's
but
always
you know
the summer
what?
of George.
Enjoy your summers because, it's the best time of the year. You only get so many times to bask in the sunlight like
That's
this,
right.
so enjoy every summer.
Especially when you live in like the Midwest.
Exactly.
It's seriously.
It means more.
The older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing like seasonal depression really is a thing.
Oh, 100%.
Like I'm like, this. I feel great.
The older I get, the more I realize how finite
Time
summers. Yeah, time and summers
How
are.
finite our small insignificant lives
There's
are.
there's only so many summers you get, so man, it's just the best time. You got to really enjoy it, especially where we're coming from, straight out of the Midwest. Some would say,
like the Rust Steel Belt, whatever.
Yeah,
What
the
is
Appalachian.
Pittsburgh supposed to be? Like Rust Belt, Steel Belt, something like
it's
that.
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, up in the Appalachian Mountains.
That's what makes it great. You can call it Mid-Atlantic, you can call it East Coast, call it whatever you want.
East Midwest,
Yeah,
something like that.
something in the middle. It's pretty
But yeah,
great.
everyone from Cleveland, everyone from Pittsburgh understands that feeling. It gets warm out, and you're feeling euphoric. As I get older, like I said, I just now I'm like, let's just spend the day outside, huh?
Why the heck
Let's
not?
soak in the vitamin D, dude.
Yeah,
Spectacular.
get in as much water as you can. This
Yes,
summer.
hydrate.
That's the
Hydrate as well.
wow, and just swim.
Oh, get
Go in
into
any
as
body.
much water. I thought you meant
Yeah.
get in
Lakes,
water. You get it in.
Pools.
Like, yeah,
Only
you
if
get
you
that
know how
water
to
in.
swim, of course.
Yes. My dad
That's
doesn't
rule
know how to
number
swim.
one. Really?
My dad's 65 years old. He doesn't know how to swim.
No one ever taught him, huh?
Nope. No one ever taught him.
How'd you learn?
He they sent me to swim camp.
He didn't want to learn though.
No, he didn't. And
No interest.
He drives jet skis. He has a boat.
He's out in deep water.
He loves getting in the pool, but at waist deep,
Really?
chest deep.
So what happens if he fell off?
He can't actually swim.
What happens if he falls off the jet ski?
I'm sure I don't know. That's why he's wearing a life jacket.
Okay, that's cool.
He literally doesn't know how to swim.
That's kind of impressive.
Isn't that crazy?
I think there's a few things you got to know how to do, and it's swimming.
But yeah, it's like a
biking.
basic, by things you gotta know how to do, you mean basic life survival skills?
Because
Swimming?
it's not really a basic one because we are land creatures. You can stay out of water if you
Yeah,
need
I
to.
guess. I guess you're right.
Unless you're in a hurricane, I guess. But I feel like you got to know how to swim, you got to know how to ride a bicycle, and you got to know how to throw a baseball, of course.
He knows how to, you'd love that.
It's a
You'd love
callback to
saying
episode
that.
1.
That's right. My dad does know how to ride a bike. That's for damn sure. What he lacks in swimming, he makes up in bike riding. He bikes 60 miles a day sometimes.
And throwing a ball.
Yeah.
He can throw a hell of a ball.
Yeah, he'll make a weird old Chet Stedman noise when he throws it, where he's like, "Yeah," but he can get it out there. He can get it out there.
He's a mean biker.
Oh yeah, he's a long distance biker.
Not a triathlete, though.
Hell no, I've never seen him run. Anyways,
No running or swimming, just the biking.
no running, no swimming. He can't do anything if he's not on wheels, pretty much, or he needs a control apparatus like a wheel in front of him. Like a jet ski. That's what I was saying.
I didn't know what was going on.
He can only engineer vehicles, maneuver,
He's just a
pilot things.
yeah. He's just a driver.
Yep, he's a driver. He's like Dale. He's just a driver at heart.
Get him behind a wheel.
Get that boy behind the wheel.
But yeah, we got a special day. Special episode for the people listening today.
That's right, Tom. So why don't you even tell them about how this came up? Because what's your new what's your new pastime?
That's right. So it's
Your
what I've
guilty
been-
pleasure, if you will.
I've been watching this to fall asleep. This is what I've been doing lately. It really relaxes me late at night. I search 2011 or 2012 Sunday night football game. And it's just the perfect environment to fall asleep to. It's a perfect mix of nostalgia, comfort, entertainment. It's not something boring. I don't want people reading like in a calm voice, like, oh, now relax. I want to hear like, something that I'm comfortable.
Something that'll
that I'm
make you
used
think
to.
of a time when you had childlike wonder in your heart.
Exactly. And even watching this right now, we've got a little game in the background. 2011 Week 1, Saints versus Packers.
Oh my
Just like
God.
everything about the presentation, I think was better. But at the same time, I just think we're old. But yeah, it's just really comforting to hear Al Michaels, prime Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth. Sunday Night Football, preferably. I might start digging in some other ones. But the night games, for some reason, just hit a little bit different when I'm trying to fall
It
asleep.
really does. When you see that when you were a kid and you'd see the national game on, it was
Yeah.
like, whoa, what's going on here? We're not watching the Steelers or Browns?
It'd be right when, like, after you'd hear, like, 60 minutes, that
Yep.
take, you'd be like, oh, shoot, I got school going on tomorrow. You'd be like, this is not good. But at the same time, you're like, man, I'm all good. And that's what I really like it for. But
Halftime of Sunday Night Football was like when the Sunday scaries were real for me. Like I was
For
like,
real.
oh man, it's Monday. We got to go back to school tomorrow. What the fuck?
I mean, like, honestly, I
I
can't
wasn't
believe-
hungover. I was just in 5th grade and didn't want to go to vocab.
I mean,
What's the word?
English?
Grammar.
I think even to this day, I would just dread it because you had to be at school like 7 in the morning. And that's just awful.
Yeah,
Forget that.
it's
I don't want any of
torture.
that.
That's torture for you.
That's too much. That's brutal.
Jesus.
They were like, get up, get on the bus at 6 a.m. Like,
But
no,
yeah,
thank
one thing that really brings us back is the voice of the games. Me and Dom both studied sports information and media in college, a lot of broadcast journalism type stuff. So we have a special affinity for the play-by-play and the color guys. We've done a little bit of it ourselves. Somewhere in the annals of ESPN Plus, me and Dom called it Duquesne versus Davidson volleyball match,
That's
Division
right.
One volleyball, girls volleyball,
Yeah.
women's volleyball.
Yeah, find that in the archives of ESPN.
Lord, I would pay money to see it and listen to it.
It was
actually.
it was a great show. You might be able to. Nah, there's no way.
There's no. I've tried.
It's not
There's no
banked
way.
somewhere.
But so today we're going to be making a tier list. We're 7 minutes into the episode. We haven't even told them what we're doing yet. We're making a tier list of the best commentators of all time because the play-by-play and the color, they really paint the picture, and it's an essential service, and it's changed a lot over the years.
yeah,
And but we have a special affinity for it. We're the foremost experts on commentary,
now
and we're going to be ranking them in a tier list.
I gotta say something before we start. When I watch games, like I'm listening, I got the volume turned up. It's not like I'm
Yeah.
not listening. But most of the time, I realize I'm not really listening to what the commentators are saying.
Sometimes they fade into the background.
Yeah, which is a sign of a really good commentator.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which sometimes is
Yeah.
A lot of times I think that's more what you want. I think that's another thing that's different about this, like the old style presentation,
Yes.
is they would fade into the background a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Now it's just like you're popping it things in and out. There's like, oh, here's this from Verizon. Here's this, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. They're popping in like ads during like the smallest little like breaks in action now. And there's too
Yep.
much like flash. It's like, get this same game parlay. Kevin Hart's doing this and that. It's just over the top a little bit.
And then there's color guys who like want to be the show. I feel
Yeah.
like where it's like, oh, listen how crazy I can say stuff, and
yeah.
like, which I feel like that sometimes ruins it.
But at the same time, well, going back to what I was saying earlier, that's why I like the Sunday Night Football old games. Al Michaels was really like the perfect.
Mhm.
He stays at pretty much an even like level the
Yes.
whole game, and same with Collinsworth actually. So it's really a perfect type of environment to really relax, watch some good football. But yeah, I think it's a sign of a good commentator. And I gotta say, there's a lot of people out there who are big haters on commentators.
Oh yeah,
It's always been a big thing on Twitter. People
Oh,
say
yeah.
how much they hate so and so for this and that. There aren't a lot of guys that I really despise. The bad ones I usually forget about. There's one guy that's definitely on this list that I'll got some things to say about that I don't love.
oh, Dom's gonna start some beef.
Little teaser for the folks,
All
but
right,
for the most part, all these guys I've got a lot of respect for.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. I do too. There's some that get on my nerves and I don't like them and I'd rather not listen to them. But like, it's not like I'm going to turn the volume off. Like some people are like, I need to watch with the volume on. Like, no, I like hearing the what they have to say and
Yeah.
like paint a picture, even if they're not my favorite guys.
Oh, Drew Brees
But,
to Kelvin Beachum.
Oh, let's fucking
Classic
go. I
2011.
love Drew Brees. Yeah, I don't know. Let's jump right into it, Dom. Who's the first name on your list? What's the tier? S through F?
S through D.
Okay.
No F. We
Sounds
won't be
good.
that rude to the folks out
All right.
here.
Let's
But
hear
we
the
got a
first
lot
name
of
on the
lists. We got a lot of ways that we can go with this. Do we want to go the new age or do we want to go old school?
I don't know.
We'll go with some classic.
Let's start classic. We were talking about classic. Let's start classic.
We'll start with the guy we've been talking about, Al Michaels.
S
like I
tier.
was saying. Yeah, I agree.
S tier. It's not even a conversation. The call itself of the Miracle on Ice is
Exactly.
like that alone, which is funny because mostly we're talking about football guys, but like probably his most famous call is a hockey call.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most famous moments in all of sports.
Yeah, that makes him an S tier by itself. But
Yeah.
he's just been like a consistent guy since. I mean, when did the Miracle on Ice happen?
1980.
That's insane how long he's been at the top of his game. Now, before we started, I did say I think he's lost a bit of his mojo.
He lost his fastball.
A little bit. He's not the same as he used to be, but I still think he's an S tier. He's a legend, even if he may have stayed a little longer than he should have.
All right, here's going to be his, like, just the best call of all time. Like, a perfect encapsulation of a perfect moment, truly, is what this call, play-by-play call did.
Dancing over to Ramsey. They let them out, gets checked by Ramsey. McClanahan is there. The puck is
1980,
11 seconds.
a bunch of college kids are playing against the best hockey team in the world.
Morrow, up to
The Soviet Union's about to go down.
believe in miracles.
Pretty great.
Just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. I mean, if you're not fired up on just being a red-blooded American, just watch the movie Miracle, and that'll
Yeah.
get you fired up. Has nothing to do with the nation at all, but just to look at something and say, "Oh, USA, baby."
And he was put on such a big stage at such a young age.
Yeah.
Too. He was probably like 20 some years
He
old.
was. He looks very young.
It was really impressive. We can go with this counterpart here, Chris Collinsworth. This is
Collinsworth, this is
controversial
this is
guy.
a polarizing commentator.
that's right. I'm a fan of him, Lucas. I know you think highly of him. I'd say, right?
Yes, very.
Collinsworth is a guy who, listen. This is a guy who just.
This is a guy. That's a little bad, but also I think that in their partnerships, a lot of things happen too. Like where when Al was with Chris Collinsworth, I feel like Al could be the one who was a little more animated, and Collinsworth was kind of like that laid back McConaughey cool character where he was like, "Whoa, are you seeing this?" Like their ebb and flow worked really well together, and I think. Maybe it was that he had a great partner who kind of let him be that character, but I think Collinsworth's really, really good. I put him in the A tier, if not S tier, but I could see why people would not allow me to say S, but I would say A.
Well, yeah, he's
For
close
sure.
to S tier, but like you were saying, he's a little goofy. You can't
Yeah.
take him like super seriously, but you know he knows ball at the
Uh-huh.
end of the day. But you're right; they had a good counterpart back in the day, and you could tell that Collinsworth he definitely got some when he was younger.
Oh, yeah.
He was a
Oh,
player.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was a player.
You ever seen the
And Al
videos?
Michaels-
You ever seen the interview of him when he was young and he was on the Bengals?
Yeah, that one's weird.
Yeah, he gets a
If
little.
you don't know,
You can Google it.
yeah, figure
But-
it out. He was he liked his ladies, he liked young ladies too, it seems. But Al Michaels, he was like the journalist, kind of like nerdy kind of guy. I mean, he was taken very seriously, especially as he's got older and got more respect. But Collinsworth was definitely the goofier counterpart. So I'd say an A. I'd say an A is pretty fair for Collinsworth.
Manning's going to heave one. There's a flag. Beckham,
Catch that?
one-handed catch. How in the world?
Oh my goodness.
And Brandon Carr was back there. I mean, he is.
This is the
insane.
OBJ
How did
catch.
he make that catch?
Oh my goodness.
Just the interjections, Cat
This
Chris.
is sick. Put this to music. I don't think he stepped out either. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
That is him at like his most animated, and he kind of is like laid back even, but like he's still
Yeah.
kind of animated there. Like he has a good mix of being like honestly shocked but still himself.
Yeah, he was being real when he said that was the greatest catch he had ever seen.
Yes.
And that was all you were going to get after him. And I think that's fine. That's not bad, but he didn't really add a whole lot to that moment, but it's still like one of his most memorable calls.
And I just think he's a good, again, like he doesn't add a whole lot. He doesn't need to, because he's not taking away. He's letting the game speak for itself in a way. And he still has that like childlike wonder about the game, which like I think some people do lose. I think that we kind of talked about it before we started recording, that like Al Michaels, he's slowed down a little bit. He's been in it for so long. Like you can tell he doesn't have quite as much juice behind his calls.
Yeah.
And like I said to you, I almost feel like it's because he's seen so much sports that like he's seen almost every outcome, if you know what I mean. Like he's seen everything that can happen in football, so he's kind of like, everything's cool, but I'm almost not surprised.
Yeah.
And he's desensitized.
Yeah, he's stayed fresh, though. We'll keep him at an A tier.
No, he's still good. Are you saying Collinsworth or Al?
Al's a S.
Al's for sure,
100%.
yes.
Collinsworth's
I was saying
A.
Al slowed down a little bit. And I think Chris did a little too.
Yeah, they both have, but that's just age. That'll
yeah.
just happen to you. Sticking with an NBC guy, Mike Tirico, I think well-liked overall. Seems like a true professional. He's now filled in that Al Michaels role on Sunday Night Football.
Uh-huh.
I think he's a similar role to Al Michaels, where he's not really standing out. It's nothing exciting, but he's a smart guy. You can tell that he's
very smart. He knows what he's talking about, and the inflection in his voice does again give off the excitedness.
Yeah.
Where he's not like doing like those catchphrase, "Oh, look at me, how crazy and excited I am." Like it's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I think that he's good at that. And I think that, he is very much so like Al Michaels. Like, they have a very similar style.
Yeah.
And it's for NBC, which is kind of like almost the most professional and like long-standing of the companies that broadcast football. So it's like NBC almost has a traditional type of play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
Their styles are different.
Yeah, a little bit. You can't have any guy who's going to be flashy out there. You can't be having some of these certain guys who are on like TNT or whatever other stations where they're really,
or Fox.
Yeah, where they're really like pushing their excitement. That's one thing that I don't love about college football specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of these college football play-by-play guys get really excited for cool plays, but like they're screaming.
Yeah.
And there's guys on here that we'll talk about later who I think are a little too animated, but Tirico I think is a perfect level. Doesn't get too high, too low. He's a good commentator. He's close to A tier.
I would give him A. Yeah.
Yeah. He's done the Olympics.
I think we're starting with some blue
bangers.
bloods here. These
Some
are three
bangers.
blue bloods to start.
Any guy off the top of your head right now? I got anybody you can think of on this list. Anybody that you want to talk about here before we go to break soon?
We can go to Iron Eagle quick.
Iron Eagle. Iron Eagle's a guy that I think is well liked.
Push a little more modern.
He's had to earn his respect, I think, Iron Eagle.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he is a bit of a dweeby guy. It's hard to, take a dude like that seriously talking about football, but he's clearly shown that he can keep up with the best of them. He's quick on his feet. He's smart. He's a good cat. Iron Eagle. What do we think about him?
I think he's got a great voice, and I think he also has a good like excitement for the game, like I said, and he also like the way he like really knows how to use his voice.
Yeah.
Where sometimes he has like a certain inflection over one specific move where he can get it out quick and like really make it sound like almost comic booky.
Yeah.
Like how I don't know how his voice like almost has the power with it. I don't know.
I kind of know what you're saying. He makes the moments kind of bigger sometimes. Like big catches, he can really live up to it for sure. Iron Eagle's a guy who's been around for a while. He's done a little bit of NBA, a little bit of NFL. I think I prefer him in NFL. He's done a lot of Steelers games. I'm close to putting him to A. Right now, I'd lean B though, probably for Iron Eagle.
Yeah, I would probably say B. I think he's got some more time to go, but I think he is entering his probably his best era.
Yeah.
I will say right now. I think he's on the up and up, but I would say B for now. He'll be an A, maybe even S by the time it's done.
Kelsey finds a blank space for the score.
There's a little Taylor Swift reference. He's up with the times. Miracle in Miami. Here it is. To send us to break.
Circling. Oh, look out! Gronkowski didn't have the angle. Touchdown! Oh, Kenyon Drake! A miracle!
Stick with us here on Behind Enemy Lines.
Hi, this is Melissa.
And hey, it's Matt.
Hi guys, my name is Ari.
Coming at you from Synergy Music Studio. Come through to a Synergy Naked session.
Synergy Naked is a live performance recording, also captured on video. Look for our releases on YouTube at Synergy Music Studio.
We're located on the south side near Chicago. Passing through.
Hit up our DMs on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
We are back here on Behind Enemy Lines, right here on WSRR Radio, nationally local, meaning we play your local bands on a national stage, and we are brought to you by Hatch's Honey. Hatch's Honey is glad to be your source for delicious, local, raw honey. They have great spring and summer mixes, plus blueberry, hot honey, cinnamon, and more. Order online at hatcheshoney.com or visit the shop in person Saturdays under the pavilion at the Hartville Flea Market.
How lovely.
How beautiful of a time that is. A little Sunday afternoon, Saturday I meant to say afternoon, going to the flea market, getting some honey, getting some soap. That's what I buy at the flea market. I buy soap.
I get the Hatch's honey. That's what I like.
Oh, soap, not bad. You know what I get? Hatch's honey. That's what I get. I get Hatch's honey, actually.
That's exactly what I get.
You son of a bitch. Anyways,
We're back.
I get soap, I get honey from Hatches,
of course,
and I get pickles and pickled onions.
Asparagus.
Not pickled asparagus, though.
Come
Dom
on.
said he almost bought pickled asparagus from a TJ Maxx.
I was really close.
Why would you do that?
Close.
Why would you do that? That's a grocery store item.
Because
That's like buying, to me, that's like the same thing as buying produce from
pickles are different.
TJ Maxx.
No,
That's
no,
like
no,
being
no.
they got bananas. They got bananas here at TJ Maxx. Why don't we get them?
No.
Getting pickled asparagus?
So
What the hell
I'll
is
tell you
that?
a few reasons. A few nights ago, like midnight, I just
You
ate
were craving pickled asparagus?
No, I just ate a bunch of pickles, and I had a great
pickles.
time. The pickles were delicious.
I
They're
love
crisp.
sitting down with the jar of pickles. I haven't done that in a while.
It was a really unique pickle too. It was like, I don't know if they'd be good on sandwiches, but just to like snack on, they were perfect.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, I pretty much ate that whole jar. I was like, I need some more pickles, but I hadn't been in the grocery store in a minute. So I'm at TJ Maxx with my girlfriend. We're looking at, the dumb stuff that they got there. And then you come across the food section. I found some nice candies and stuff. And then I see these pickled asparagus. I love asparagus. Love pickles. Been loving pickles lately, especially. And picked up the jar. I was looking at it, and it just sounded delicious. Pickled asparagus?
I don't think that sounds delicious at
You
all.
don't think that sounds good?
No.
You don't like asparagus?
Stuff that's pickled, though, that's not a pickle, usually isn't, pickled with, dill. Do you think it was, dill flavored? Like, it tasted like a pickle?
Yeah.
I just feel like it was,
vinegary.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing, I don't think.
It's similar, though. It's like pickled onions.
But asparagus, yeah, I love pickled onions.
Yeah, it's the same thing with an asparagus.
Pickled onions are the way to go.
They are
You
good.
throw some pickled onions on a sandwich, that takes
Oh.
that sandwich to the next
It
tier.
does.
Pickled onions and pickles
Yeah.
on ham and turkey and Colby Jack cheese with some
Yeah.
spinach on it and some mayo on sourdough.
Real sandwich
Oh my
lovers.
god.
Real sandwich lovers be like, you gonna add pickles to that?
Yeah,
now?
right? Real sandwich lovers, they see you with a sandwich, they go, damn, that's pretty nice. You got pickles on there?
But the pickled asparagus, you don't even think that'd be good from a grocery store?
No.
I think you're just
no,
eating
from
it
a grocery store, I think it would be all right. But like
from TJ Maxx.
getting that
is
at
the
a,
point.
a second-hand store, pretty much. Like
Consignment
TJ Maxx
store.
sells the stuff that other people couldn't sell.
Yeah, exactly. It's a diamond in the rough. No
Yeah,
one
but
would have
not
thought
for
to do such a
food,
thing.
Not for food, Dom. Not for food.
No one would have thought to do a thing like pickled asparagus. You might not even see that at the grocery store. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I
This is
don't
my one
want
chance.
to. I don't want to see it, actually. I
Might
just want
have
to see tinned fish. That's all I want.
From there?
No, not from TJ Maxx.
What type of food
Get
you
your
eating?
mind on TJ Maxx.
So would you get your dog food from there?
No, I got
Really?
chocolate-covered Oreos.
So you eat that type of food.
Yeah.
What about
That's
this?
different.
What about these sour rainbow belts I got? You've been munching on these.
Yeah,
These are
they're
pretty good.
paper thin. They're terrible, but I love them.
But you can't
and
stop
the
eating them.
sugar tastes like stale. Also, anyways, let's get back to this
That's what TJ Maxx
beautiful,
does.
this beautiful tier list that we're cooking up. Best commentators, specifically football. Dom, who do we got next?
Who do we got next? That's a great question. We can go switching it up a little bit.
I can't even get through these. These are so tough.
They are a
Go
little
on.
tough. I feel like I got marbles in my mouth. But Charles Davis from Fox NFL, from
Bum.
Madden NFL. In real life, he's not bad. He's
Yeah.
not awful. In Madden, unfortunately, they have sold his soul, and he's unlistenable. I have to turn off the volume in Madden.
Yeah, he's really bad. And I think that it's not entirely his fault. I really
No.
honestly feel like with the advancement of the Madden game, the thing that has maybe devolved, like, or just hasn't changed since the start is like the technology of the commentator.
Yeah. You'd think they'd be pumping AI into that by now.
Yeah, when are they going to do that? Like,
I
when
know.
are they just going to put AI on it? I bet that the commentators probably don't want them to do that.
That's possible, but then you find commentators who do want to do that because no one wants to listen to the same things over and over again.
Yeah,
Did you
but
see-
I bet that people in the broadcasting community probably don't want to allow them to do that because then they're showing that AI can do our jobs.
Yeah, but that's going to happen regardless.
But do you think
Especially
games
in
will
video
ever
games.
be? Do you think like live sports will ever be commentated by AI?
Oh, no.
No,
No.
I hope not.
I don't think. I mean, I guess anything's possible with this stuff, but I see not in our lifetime.
I wouldn't doubt though that like some small college does that. Like some like Princeton just rolls it out, or some like really really smart school
Yeah.
rolls it out for like a women's soccer game that, like, no offense, but not many people are watching. Like ESPN Plus, not many people are watching Ivy League women's soccer or
Yeah.
men's soccer. Even men's soccer probably have less. They're like, let's try this out. We didn't have anyone to pay, and like we have so and so who found out the technology. Like, let's do an AI thing, and then eventually it takes over.
It's definitely possible.
I wouldn't doubt it.
AI is going to take a lot
I
of
hope
jobs. People aren't prepared for it. Government's not prepared for it. I think it'll still be another. People are like, it's going to be a year or
The
two. I think
government.
it's going to be more like 4 to 6 years.
Take our jobs.
They're going to take them all.
Charles Davis, I'd say C tier. I think he's a C tier. I can't. I
Yeah.
don't like him.
He's even pushing D tier,
I would. Yeah,
but we'll give him C.
we'll give him C.
That's respect.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna
For
say.
real
I
life.
would feel disrespectful if I gave him a D tier.
Let's go with the guy who I think is an S tier. We're gonna kick things up a notch here.
Lay it on me, Chief.
Jim Nance.
Nance
My
is an
goat.
S tier. Yeah,
Nance is
an S
my
tier.
goat.
He also, like, he's a great golf commentator, which I know obviously we are. Like I said, we are just mostly talking about football, but I don't think we are. I think Ian Eagle does a lot of basketball that he's pretty good with too.
Yeah.
In college basketball especially. But Nance is a golf guy, and he's like the Masters, like is Jim Nance.
Yeah,
like he's spectacular.
he's perfect in that setting. I think
And he's great at football as well.
he is. He's really good at football. But yeah, I agree. He shines probably the most in golf. I think he's had maybe the most iconic calls out of anyone at the Masters alone.
Yeah.
Just every year, because the Masters is such a special place. There's always magic that's happening at Augusta. I think the greatest of all time isn't like anything that he said, but how he allowed the moment to speak after Tiger Woods won the
Yes.
Masters in 2019.
Let's see Jim Nance's number one commentary call determined by the YouTube channel Pro Football Lowlights.
Well, they know something.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like they've got some authority on the
matter.
decision. There we go, matter. March Madness, Villanova. Oh my God!
They're shooting off guns?
The confetti cannons were really going off. Yeah, I guess I didn't even really think about how much he does basketball as well.
Yeah.
He's another college basketball guy.
Yeah, that was a great call. I forgot about that one. But yeah, he might have more iconic calls than Al Michaels. Maybe.
He's up there.
Because Al Michaels, he's good. He's had a lot of like big time games. But when I think about big time calls, like knowing the moment, it's Nance.
Yeah, Nance is good. I think that Tony Romo ruins Nance for me.
Yeah.
Which
So
we can
let's-
jump right to him.
Yeah, he was the guy I've been wanting to talk about.
Okay.
Because I didn't like him. I've never liked him.
I like
When
Nance
people like
better
him-
with Sims. I think those two were better together
Yeah.
when it was Nance and Phil Sims, right?
Yeah, they pushed Sims
They did a
out.
Madden. They did a
Yeah,
Madden one year.
that's right.
And they were good. I
They
liked
were.
Phil Sims on it. But go on. Tony Romo.
I've never been a fan of Romo as a commentator. I always thought he came across as like a know-it-all, kind of just annoying in my
Yeah.
opinion. People loved him at first, but now people are starting to wake up.
I didn't like him at first. Me and you were both firm. We were both firmly on the no to the Tony Romo calling. And I think I've said it before, maybe even on the show, like, I liked Tony Romo when he was on the Cowboys. Like I was
Yeah, I didn't hate
I was
him.
kind of a fan of him. Like I wanted him to win a Super Bowl in all honesty. I was like, I think he kind of is a guy that deserves a ring, whatever, blah blah blah, but Cowboys were never going to win one. So I was excited when he was going to be a commentator, and then he came out and I heard like a couple weeks of him and I was like, I don't like him. And everyone was hyping him up that he was making all the calls and stuff, and
Yeah.
I didn't like him, and I still don't all that much. I think he's getting a little bit like less on my nerves,
Yeah.
but I still don't love him.
Yeah,
and
I
I'd
agree.
put-
I think he's more tolerable now. I really can't stand him when he's calling a Steelers game. That's where I mostly can't stand him.
Yeah. I
When it's my team that he's commentating
yes.
for.
If it's on another, yeah, I agree. Which there's another guy like this on this list.
So where are we
where
putting
I
him?
don't mind him as much, but when he's commentating in a Cleveland sport, I hate him.
Yeah.
I see this is tough because I want to put him C tier, but Charles Davis is C tier, and I don't want to put those two on the same. I think
Yeah.
Romo
Forgot
is
about
a
Brady.
little better. Oh, did you? I was going to
I
ask.
haven't put
before.
him on here.
I think Romo's better than Charles Davis.
So Davis gets bumped. 'Cause I
So,
agree
yeah, I
with
think
that.
Davis goes to the D.
You want to talk about Tom Brady?
And of course,
because-
this is D tier. Whoa, excuse me. This is the D tier of like the best commentators too. So like,
Yeah, so they're
you
still
know,
good.
No disrespect.
Yeah.
to CD.
You don't get at this point. You don't become an NFL commentator without being
Mm-hmm.
amazing at what you do.
Tony
Especially play-by-play guys.
Yeah.
Color guys,
Sorry, Tom Brady. I mean,
yeah. Tom Brady, new to this color thing. I think he's gotten better since he started, but he's not.
when he
good.
did the Browns game, I really thought he was bad. The Browns Dallas first game of the year,
Sometimes
it
it
was
doesn't
his
sound like he
first
knows
game.
what he's doing.
and I was like, man, he really sounds like scared.
Yeah,
I do think he's getting better, and he will.
because they forced him in that position.
Just
because he's the greatest of all time and
Yeah.
he wanted to do it. A lot of these guys had to work hard. I thought Greg Olson was pretty good when he did it.
I think he's still good. Yeah, he still does it sometimes. He's good.
Yeah.
I was going to put him in there. I think for now, Brady's D tier.
But Olsen wasn't like just like put in that position as soon as he retired. Like he
No.
probably had to go through so many auditions.
Yeah.
Brady was just like he's getting into it, and it like no matter what, and it
Yeah.
shows. By
He got
how-
a huge paycheck and he got the number one spot because they knew that, like, honestly, I think it was kind of their combatants to Tony Romo. Like, they think Tom Brady's
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, you got a really good quarterback who knows all this stuff. Like, we're going to get the best quarterback who knows all this stuff.
He called the Super Bowl this year, right?
Brady.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I think.
I believe so. And he didn't stand out in any negative way too much. In my
No,
opinion.
which, again, like, I think when I heard that he was going to do the Super Bowl, I was like, oh, that's going to suck. Like, but I did think he wasn't as bad
Yeah.
from the start. So I think he's going to get better. But right now, he's still D-tier for me just because he's a rookie.
Okay. All right.
He's got to earn his spot, man.
Yeah. He hasn't annoyed me as much as Romo though.
I think they're very similar, and I think Romo does a better job right now because he's got more experience at it of painting the picture than
Yeah.
Brady does. I just think right now,
I agree.
technically, he's a little bit better. Maybe not even entertainment-wise, but I think technically as a broadcaster.
I agree with that. I can get behind that. You brought up Phil Simms. He's a guy that we both liked. He's not exceptional, but he was
I'd say
good.
B tier.
B?
Yeah. He wasn't in it for too long.
You're right. He's like Iron Eagle level. I think that's fair to put him there with him.
Yeah, I like that. B tier for Phil Simms. Him and Nance did a Madden, and I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, that's probably when it was the best. They used to like give them like the CGI, like you could
Oh,
actually
where
see
they-
their faces.
Yeah, that was
That was
hilarious.
cool.
That was really funny.
And then I
Looking
remember in
back on it.
NHL they did like similar thing, but it was like actual like people.
Yeah, they've done that for like basketball too. I feel like
Maybe. But the CGI was weird of Phil Simms.
they do the CGI in 2K still for basketball.
Yeah, that doesn't look as
They
bad.
show them
though.
like inside. Well, yeah, it's like 10 years later.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Yeah, they did have like Shaquille O'Neal as like
yeah, they got inside
I'm
the
doing a full
NBA.
show.
They got Shaq'd and a Fool on CG.
Unbelievable.
Like computer generated Shaq'd and a Fool. All right, Greg Olson. We mentioned him.
Yeah. Where do you think he is? Because I think he was good. I think he got demoted unfairly.
Yeah, I think he was like kind of on the cusp. If not, I feel like last year he kind of did a couple of those big games for Fox.
Yeah.
And yeah, he kind of got pushed to the second tier, and I feel like I like him. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, I think he was good. I'd put him at.
He has said a couple of things that I think there's been a couple of things that I specifically remember when watching Browns games where I've been like, that was kind of a stupid thing to say. Like, I remember one time the Browns got a face mask on Christian McCaffrey, like, early in the game against the 49ers. And he was like, well, you know, Christian McCaffrey, like, he's their go-to guy, and the Browns are going to want to rough him up. And, like, pretty much, he kind of said that they were trying to hurt him.
Really?
Like, he basically was saying, like, they got a face mask because they're trying to be overly aggressive and hurt him. And I was like, whoa, take it easy. Like, he was like, I think he might have been banged up coming into the game. Like, I was like, that's kind of a weird thing to say.
You think it's harder to be a color guy than play-by-play? Because I go back and forth. Because play-by-play, you're obviously talking a lot more. You need to be a lot faster. But color, you need to know the game in and out. You can't really lack any knowledge of the sport.
Yeah, I think they're different. They're hard in different ways, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth, too, on which one's harder.
What do you think about like the rules analysts that they bring into the games now? 'Cause
I
that's
want to
not
be
a
that
thing.
guy so bad.
You want to be that guy?
Yeah.
That's a thing like that didn't happen in these old like 2010 games.
Yeah, but think how much Gene Steratore gets paid to just watch every game and, like,
And sometimes you're like, I don't
one
really
time, yeah, they're just like, Gene, what do you think? And he's like, oh, I think his foot was in bounds there. He gets the elbow in, so it's in.
Yeah, he
You're
actually
like,
does
okay.
have the best position in all this because he can be wrong a lot. And
Yeah,
nobody
that's
really
the other
cares.
thing, too. They can just be wrong.
Yeah.
You can just be like, I think they're going to overturn it. And then they're like,
And then
the call's upheld.
It always starts a conversation, too. It's like, oh, Steratore said that the refs made the wrong call.
Yeah.
But really, what does this guy... I guess he's a former ref at the same time. He's just a TV dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
They treat him like he's like...
I know,
the
yeah.
know-all of
It
the
is
sport.
tough. But
I do
want
like
that
him.
job so bad.
I also like how it's Italians who are working these jobs.
Yes,
Because it's
baby.
Steratore, and then the other... Because Steratore's
the other one's name's Bompancero.
they're like multiple NFL rules analysts and they are They're all Italian, I'm pretty sure.
I love that.
I
An
got
all
I'll figure it
Dago
out.
cast.
Mike Pereira, Gene
Yes,
Steratore.
Mike Pereira.
That's
Gene
it.
Steratore, yes.
That's it. Dean Blandino.
Oh, what a name. What a name.
I mean, they just give it to the real Italians out there. It's lovely.
We gotta
it's
love
great
that.
to see. Maybe
We gotta
you
love
can.
that.
Maybe one of me or you can one day.
That's right.
Hopefully.
Durazio, that's a good enough last name to
I think you might be able to fill in the footsteps.
be behind Steratore.
Blandino, Durazio, and Steratore. That's the mafia. That's the
That's
family.
awesome. The four families of
yeah.
rule enforcement.
Might need to pitch that to Roger.
That's golden. All right, give me something else, Dom. We got a minute and 10 seconds.
All right, we'll go with someone who's not too controversial. Troy Aikman. I mean, he gets loved, he gets hated, but at the same time, no one thinks he's great.
Yeah, I think he's just all right. I'd say.
He's not as good as Collinsworth. He's on that tier below. That's as easy as
You
I
think
can
B?
explain it.
You think he's a B? Yeah, I guess I'd give him B tier. I
He's
don't.
close to Collinsworth.
I don't love him. I think he's. I wouldn't say he's close to Collinsworth. I think that's disrespectful. In all honesty, I think you're
Really?
throwing shade at Chris, but I think he's pretty good. He's not bad. I hate Joe Buck though, which we'll go into the break knowing that when you come back, I'm going to talk shit about Joe Buck.
Just think about that.
I hate Joe Buck, and
Wow.
I think that when he's with, like, he's not bad, and I just don't like Joe Buck, so it kind of ruins like the broadcast for me. But I've specifically remembered times listening to Troy Aikman and being like, oh, all right, that's a good point, like whatever, and then Joe Buck says something, and I'm just like, shut the hell up. So I feel like it was, Aikman's doing his job all right, but
Yeah.
I just don't like his partner.
We can
And
talk more about it when we
That
get back
throws
from the
things
break.
off. But Aikman B tier, we're
Yeah.
sticking with that.
I think it's
Come
fair.
back to listen to me talk shit about Joe Buck right here on WSRR Radio.
Did you know that eating natural honey can help with your seasonal allergies? Hatch's Honey is glad to be your source for delicious, local, raw honey. With great spring and summer mixes plus blueberry, hot, cinnamon, and more, you can order online today at hatcheshoney.com or stop by in person at the Hartville Flea Market Pavilion on Saturdays or Thursdays at the Talmadge Farmers Market. For more information or to order online, visit hatcheshoney.com today. Hatch's Honey, healthy and delicious.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Welcome back to your final segment of Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio, wrapping up your 10 o'clock block on your drive to survive on your Monday morning. I'm Luke Strazio, again, with Dom Farrow, and we're wrapping up a commentator's tier list. And we still got some hot names on the board here.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Buck, the first of. He's an asshole. I'll just say that.
Wow.
Every time he's calling a Cleveland game, he always seems to shit on the Browns or the Guardians. I understand that he's like more of a baseball guy, I feel
Yeah.
like. That's kind of like where
This is bread and butter.
that's his bread and butter. I just don't like him in football enough. I don't think he has enough. Like, I don't think he emotes enough.
Emotes.
Yeah, he's not doing
Fortnite.
Fortnite dances enough. Like, he doesn't have enough emotion in his call. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not a Buck hater. I'm really not.
I'd put him C tier.
I think Collinsworth and Buck get the most hate. I think Collinsworth definitely gets more undeserved hate. But I don't think Buck deserves it all. I think C is fair. He's definitely not D tier.
Yeah, I'd say C. C.
'Cause
Because he's been in
baseball-
it for a long time. He's all right, but I just don't like him, so he's a C on my list.
Football, I could hear an argument maybe for D. But we're considering like all the World Series he's done. That bumps him up at least to a C. So I'm cool with him being there. Kevin Harlan,
My GOAT.
Really?
S tier. Yes.
F.
My favorite. Actually, I think, other than Jim Donovan, the Cleveland Browns radio play-by-play guy who we won't talk about because he's radio, not TV.
we'll give him.
He's my
respect.
favorite of all time is Kevin Harlan. I think he's the GOAT.
I like Kevin Harlan. S. Yeah. You know what?
Who
You're
else are
right.
you going to throw up there?
You're right. Because he's better than Tirico. He's better than Collinsworth.
He's been doing it for a long time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
In my opinion, he's the voice of the NBA.
I agree.
Even though, what's his name? What's the guy who says bang?
Mike Bream.
Mike Breen. He's contending for it. But I would say for longer, Harlan has been like my voice of the NBA.
And Harlan also has got the 2K, the voice of NBA 2K.
Yeah.
That means that. And he's great in
And
that.
I think 2K commentary is
so much better. So much.
Really, mostly just because
Simpler
they can
game.
set it up to when you hit a buzzer beater, you just have him go, oh! Because that's
Yeah.
really all you need.
Basketball, I think, is it's 100% a much simpler sport than football.
Yeah.
Football's a lot more complex. I get why it's harder for them to program commentary for that. But
AI.
it's what they need to do. But Harlan, I was lucky enough to meet this guy one time. Yeah, March Madness 2021 or 2022.
I would have been starstruck.
I was. Him and Reggie Miller. I was more scared.
What a team.
I was really scared of Reggie Miller. Yeah, after hearing all the stories
You
about
thought
him.
he'd hit the choke on you?
I thought he would. I thought he'd be cold. But he was a really nice guy. But Harlan was even nicer. Super nice. It was very brief, the interaction, but you could tell that he was a genuine good dude. I think I can say the same about the other S-tier guys. I've never met them, but Jim Nance seems like a great human.
I agree.
Al Michaels seems like a good dude for the most part.
Yep.
Just very rich, probably.
Yep.
Just like all these guys, but yeah, I think we got the good S tier. That's probably the last S tier. We can give some honorable. These guys aren't John Madden. He's not around anymore.
John Madden would probably be S tier. Jim Donovan, like I said, is S tier for sure, in my opinion. But again, not sure if you are familiar with a ton of his calls. But go on.
We'll give him an S tier. Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler.
Oh,
these
Herbie's
guys.
good. I like Herbie.
Herbie's good.
A lot of people. He's another guy. He gets a lot of hate, and I don't think he deserves it. I think he's good.
Yeah, I think he's an A.
Yeah, I'd give him A. Who else is in our A already? Collinsworth.
And Tirico.
Yeah, I'd give
I
him
think he's
A.
on that level.
I'd definitely give him an A then. Fowler.
Yeah.
I'd give that. Yeah, I think him and Kirk work really well together.
Yeah,
They're an A.
I agree. Gus Johnson.
Gus Johnson might be an S.
Really?
I feel like he doesn't get
He
as
gets
some
way
of the
too
biggest
loud.
stages, I feel like.
He's way too excited.
Yeah. I
He's
think his
A.
style is good. Like, I like his style, but it doesn't work all the time.
Yeah. It
Whereas,
wouldn't
like,
work in the NFL.
If you're watching I think it does sometimes, but like, I think if you're watching an Ohio State game and it's a late game touchdown and he's screaming like that, like it works. But like, yeah, like the pro game, I don't think it works as much yet. Like, I don't know, just the vibe around it.
Yeah, he's too much for me sometimes. I agree. College fits him a lot more.
Yeah, I would say A. Some people would say S though, for sure. But then I'm sure there are some people that don't like his style, like you.
But yeah, A.
Yes,
A's
A.
good for him. Now here's a guy, John Gruden.
Oh,
He was a commentator.
Gruden was
Monday
good.
Night Football for a minute.
Gruden
for a while.
he had the Monday night spot locked down.
He did.
Because he used to give a Monday night Gruden's Grinder. His Gruden's Grinder of the week. And he did that for like 2 years. He was really good. The thing that took him out of it was going back to the Raiders coaching spot.
Yeah.
He never should have.
No.
I really think that hurt his career. Like, overall, his public image. Like,
Probably.
if he never did that, I mean, not that he's not doing good right now with Barstool and, like, whatever, he's persisting. Like, obviously, there was some controversy around him with the Raiders and stuff, but, like,
yeah,
he would be so highly regarded right now, and I think he would have made so much more money if he didn't go back to coaching.
Yeah, he got a little out of control, I think. I mean,
He just got too much love for the game, man.
He couldn't give it up. I agree. If he would have stayed in the commentary in the commentary field, I think he would have been still.
I'll tell you what, man.
I think he still would have been the face because he's a natural star because he didn't realize what you were missing for so long until he came back to Barstool.
Yeah,
and then you're like, man, I did miss.
Got
this
him
guy's
feeling
commentary.
nicey.
Because that's right. He cared about the game. And that's what mattered most.
Yes,
he
he is
loved
another
the
guy
game.
who is a football holic.
Yeah.
Like, he loves the game. He's smart about it. Like, he has a childlike wonder around the game, and he always will. And sometimes there are people who have, like, a childlike wonder around the game, who call the game, like, and it's just like, oh my God, what a play. Like, he has that affection and love for the intricacies of the run game as much as he does for just like a big, like, you know what I mean? Like the coverages and the like small, fine technical details of football,
Yeah.
rather than just being in love with just like the big plays and stuff like that.
That's right. He knows his stuff, and this is a Gruden show, so I think he's got to be an A tier. At least.
I would give him A.
Can't give him
He
S.
would be S if he would have stuck there for longer.
Yeah, I wonder how many years it was.
Maybe it should only be B just because of that.
Yeah, I
just
gotta
longevity wise.
I'll have to look at that real quick.
And I mean, if you take into what he's doing now, it might help. Like
It's helped his image.
Also, like Gruden's QB camp too was his biggest thing, really, and that's not really commentary. He's a great
He's a
TV
full
personality.
ESPN employee, yeah.
He's a great analyst, but maybe just a little bit less on the commentary side. I'd say B just for that.
Okay,
Just
Gruden
how
was
his career
hired-
stacks up.
He was hired in 2009, and I believe he went until 2014.
Yeah, only
So,
5 years.
Yeah, not very long, but it was very memorable.
It was.
We got a few other guys here. Some of them are football guys. Some of them are random. I don't know how much time we got left, but we can.
We
go
have
through
a
them quick.
minute.
All right,
Give me
speed
one.
round. Vin Scully,
Don't even know who that is.
Dodgers. We'll give him an A. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
UFC.
Oh, UFC guy.
He's good at UFC.
B. A.
B.
I'll give him A. I'll give him A.
A.
He's brought it to a whole new crowd.
Yeah. Doc Emmerich. S.
Who's Doc Emmerich?
The
I need to
hockey
hear his
guy.
voice. Oh, yes.
And
S. Yes.
Yeah.
Did Chell 23. 20.
Noah Eagle.
No Eagles a D right now just because he's young.
Ooh. Bob Costas.
Nerd. Dweeb. He's a dweeb. C. Doesn't like pro wrestling anymore.
Bill Walton.
Bill Walton.
Last one. R.I.P.
A. I'll give him A.
That's it.
Who's this Jim Buck you brought up?
Jim Buck is Joe Buck's dad.
Joe Buck's dad was a famous commentator?
Right. That's right.
Joe Buck's
You didn't know that.
He's a Nepo baby?
He's the biggest one of all these
He's
guys.
a piece of shit. I hate that guy.
What about Noah Eagle?
Noah Eagle is a D. I already said that. We just said that.
The Nepo,
Thank you guys. Oh, yeah, that is. I don't know, because, yeah, I guess
He's
you're
as low
right.
as he can
Noah
get,
Eagle's
though.
a piece of shit, too. Thank you guys for listening to Behind Enemy Lines on WSRR Radio.
The preceding program was a sponsored production. The views, claims, and ideas expressed may not represent those of WSRR Radio.